All right, there we go. Hi, everyone. We're going to give maybe a few seconds for everyone to join, and then we will start. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
All righty. Okay, I see a few trickling in. Okay. All right, so hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I am thrilled to welcome you to this webinar session today. We'll be looking at hydration hacks for cannabis lovers. So now that summer heat is in full swing, I think it's the perfect timing. So it's great to have you all here with us today. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to use the chat feature, which is located on the side of your screen, to submit your question, and we can answer any of those at the end of the webinar. As we're always looking to improve our programs, we'll be sending out a quick survey after the webinar. So, we'll be randomly selecting a lucky winner to receive an Amazon gift card. So just keep an eye out for the survey link in your inbox. At Leafy Doc, we want to make sure that we're providing the best educational resources for our community, and that's why we are proud to offer a cannabis health coaching consultation service. So, whether you're a seasoned cannabis user or new to the scene, one of our coaching sessions can help you navigate the different options available to you and how they can fit into your lifestyle. If you're interested, please head over to our website and check out the Cannabis Health Coach tab, or just send us an email at leafydoc.com, and we'll be more than happy to help. Now, I want to introduce you to Maria. She is our speaker today and one of our expert cannabis health coaches. With over 15 years of experience as a registered dietitian and several medical cannabis certifications, she is the perfect person to guide us through today's topic. So, Maria, welcome. I'll let you take over now.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be here and be talking about hydration on this hot day. And, I think there's a lot of reasons why people are interested in staying hydrated beyond the weather and, just in general for wellness. So let's go ahead and jump in with some of these interesting topics. The let's see. There we go. So hydration and cannabis. So basically, I just wanted to touch on what water does for our bodies. It does so much. It's really, really beneficial for a lot of digestive processes. So it prevents constipation. It has a lot of needs for fiber. So if somebody's increasing their fiber intake, then they should definitely increase their water intake. So it's good for digestion as well as moistening the tissues in the mouth and the eyes and the nose. So there's many reasons why some people might have dry eyes, anything from allergies to cannabis use, which brings us to what is part of the THC. Basically, it is a psychoactive component in cannabis that has been known to stimulate the release of the hormone vasopressin, which is a water regulating molecule. So the depending on the individual and the dose, it can affect urine production and water retention and raise blood pressure. So vasopressin is an interesting water regulating molecule. Basically, it influences the sense of thirst, and it's really important to make sure that if anybody's taking any specific medications or has any fluid restrictions or recommendations specifically from their doctor, that they follow those because their doctor would know the best. But one of the things that vasopressin does is influence a sense of thirst. And so in this chart is talking about some rules of thumb. So basically, without any specific recommendations, if you're looking for the amount of water to aim for in a day, generally it would be anywhere between 60 to 80 ounces or so, but that's without factoring in some of the things that can influence hydration needs. So the urine chart is just showing some of the different levels of what would be considered hydrated or unhydrated. If you were getting a urinalysis, of course, it would be much more accurate, but this is just like the kind of rule of looking at the colors. So ideally, urine should be really, really light in color, hardly there at all. The further that it gets into the darker colors, the more dehydration there is apparent within the body. So lots of factors can influence these colors besides just hydration, like medications, certain foods or dyes. So there's a lot of things that can change some of this. Even vitamins, some of the B vitamins have like really neon color urine. So some of those are different things can influence colors. But as far as just looking at what dehydration does, it is something that can cause a lot of health issues. Anything from heat stroke to fatigue, dizziness, headaches. A lot of that can be really attributed to whether what the amount of time spent in the weather, as well as activity level, and the age of the individual. So there's many factors in there. But what can happen during dehydration is that the body loses essential electrolytes, and that can cause muscle cramps and low blood pressure. So if there's a time when someone is in hot weather that they need to use a sports drink, then that might be appropriate, just depending on the physical activity level and such. So dehydration in its most severe forms, some of that can lead to kidney damage, seizures, and coma. So all right. So the next to consider is the interaction caused by the chemical compounds in cannabis with the receptors of the salivary glands, which can lead to a decrease in saliva production. So smoking cannabis can exacerbate dry mouth, but it's not the cause. It's due to the saliva glands CB1 and CB2, the cannabinoid receptors that control flow, consistency, and content of saliva. And that's really interesting. The flow, consistency, and content of saliva, it does greatly vary. Sometimes when there's chronic dehydration in an individual, if they don't drink much water for long periods of time, it's not uncommon to hear them say that there's that water tastes weird, or water has an off-putting flavor to them. And what that's indicating is that some of those electrolyte imbalances, such as the sodium or any of the other electrolytes, might just be off. And so drinking water therefore produces a flavor that might not necessarily be in someone that is not chronically dehydrated. So the endocannabinoid system plays a role in modulating many different biological processes, including the saliva production. And marijuana can cause some of that dry mouth due to these chemical compounds with the plant and the saliva glands. So one of the next things that we'll talk about is some tips to cope with that. So it starts with the daily proper hydration. So basically going in from day to day, trying to have a good amount of water each day. So how much water? Again, it depends, but somewhere between 60 and 80 is a pretty good amount of ounces to aim for in one day. And also the ingestion method. So some of the, rather than smoking, trying edibles or even trying a different type of strain, those can have some effect on the dry mouth. And then the minimum effective dose, so the smallest amount for to achieve the desired effect. Some hydration hacks. So there's a few ideas. So this is more about habit building and creating a chain of reactions that helps with long-term habit establishment. And so, for example, to build a habit, it's usually best to try and link it up with another activity that's already being done. So, like a time of day or a person's name, or some action that's already taking place. If you're trying to form a habit, if you link that with something that's already taking place. For example, if one was about to take part in cannabis use, creating the habit to drink a glass of water prior to use, and then having an additional glass of water nearby. And so like it's A plus B equals C. So it just helps that habit creation. The use of a straw. So a straw is helpful for getting larger amounts of water in a smaller amount of time. The hydrating foods, so things like fresh produce and fresh fruits, those are helpful for having some extra hydration. And saliva stimulating products such as sugar-free gums or sugar-free hard candies. So this one is other tips to feel refreshed, and there are a few different in here. So for example, a sugar-free popsicle is great. The fruit popsicles, those are delicious. Some ice chips and decaf herbal tea, especially lemon or citrus or green teas. And if you prefer them hot or if you prefer them cold or over ice, that's all great ways to feel refreshed, as well as the use of a humidifier. Sometimes that can help with the absorption of water through the skin. So I was gonna just demonstrate a little really quick light refresher. So basically all I've got in here is just a sprig of mint, and to use mint and help it flavor mildly, basically you just take your mint and you tap it, and it helps break up those essential oils. And you can throw that in your glass. And I've got a Perrier, which is just any sparkling water if you could want. And as easy as that, you've got a nice refreshing drink and, a great way to enjoy the summer heat.
Maria, I need to go get myself some mint leaves right away. Thank you so much for those tips and this presentation. Thank you so much. I don't believe we have any questions here, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to email us directly, and we can gladly get back to you. No problem with that. Anything else, Maria, you wanted to add?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all, and we hope to see you next month with our next series of webinars. See you soon.